guys, welcome back to my channel. Now my channel is Toju Talks Nursing. On this channel I talk about nursing, health tips, finance, and a little bit of vlog. So if you want to get information about these topics, please do stay tuned to my channel. The brain is a very vital and important part of our body. In fact, the brain is the core center of activities or functions of our body. Everywhere we look, the books, the blogs, TV shows, and even on our websites, we are bombarded with activities or tips on how to live, to eat, to breathe, and even to exercise. Now, our body's health is being taken care of. What about our brain? We're not saying there is no truth in what these lifestyle advisors are saying. What we are saying here is that we are paying more attention to our body. What about our brain? Now, it is important or pertinent that we also pay attention to our brain's health and fitness so that it can carry out its functions efficiently. Every day, people fall into trap of habits that damages their brain. That's why on this video I've come out with 10 brain damaging habits that should be avoided if our brain is very dear to us. Hello guys, welcome to my channel. It's Toju here again. So in today's video I will be talking about the 10 brain damaging habits that should be avoided. So guys, if you want to know about these habits, then stay tuned. The brain is a very vital and important part of our body. In fact, the brain is the core center of activities or functions of our body. Everywhere we look, the books, the blogs, TV shows, and even on our websites, we are bombarded with activities or tips on how to live, to eat, to breathe, and even to exercise. Now, our body's health is being taken care of. What about our brain? We're not saying there is no truth in what these lifestyle advisors are saying. What we are saying here is that we are paying more attention to our body. What about our brain? Now, it is important or pertinent that we also pay attention to our brain's health and fitness so that it can carry out its functions efficiently. Every day, people fall into trap of habits that damages their brain. That's why on this video I've come out with 10 brain damaging habits that should be avoided if our brain is very dear to us. Our number one habit that should be avoided is skipping breakfast. A lot of us do go out in a hurry and forgetting or intentionally just don't want to take breakfast because we are in so much a hurry. Now let me tell you what this does to your body. When you go out without taking breakfast, the brain that has overworked itself overnight for you needs to be replenished in the morning. So it needs the energy which it has lost the previous nights to be replenished back to it to function in the morning. So when you deprive the brain cells of this needed energy that it requires to function, then it means the body goes into a condition called hypoglycemia, meaning reduced blood sugar in our bloodstream, and this can affect our brain a whole lot, affecting our thinking ability. It can even result in mood swing. It can also even result in low concentration span. So it is very important that you give the brain its needed energy that it requires to function during the daytime, because it is known that it is during periods of deep sleep that the brain carries out most of its function. So during that period, a lot of energy and glucose has been used for that purpose. So it is only right and normal that in the morning when you wake up, you take a quick breakfast to actually replenish the energy or the glucose that the brain cells have used to work in the night, so that you don't fall into problem. Because when you actually deprive the brain cells of this energy that it needs, of course the brain will not get enough energy to function maximally for you during the day. So that is why you don't skip breakfast at all, even when you are in oil. The second habit that should be avoided is too much sugar and salt consumption. Now let me go for the sugar first. Of course, when you take in too much sugar in the blood actually reduces the absorption of protein and other nutrients in our body. Now, when there is reduced absorption of protein and other nutrients in our body, then it means the brain doesn't get enough of these nutrients to function maximally. It leads to a condition which is known as brain malnutrition. Of course, yes, the brain gets malnourished, so it is deprived of its nutrients, so it doesn't get enough to function properly. And this malnutrition affects the brain cells and damages the brain cells gradually. So it is wise that we get moderate amount of sugar in all your diet. Whatever you eat, you always look at the amount of sugar that you are consuming. It should not be more than the daily requirement. Of course, our sweet food increases our brain function negatively. So we should choose sugar that we eat or we take in widely. Chocolates are very good source of sugar and very good for our body cells, and also strawberry are also sweets that are good for our body and our waistline. So we should choose wisely when we take in sugar and take in the adequate and correct amount that is being required. Now let's go to the next, which is our salt. When you take in too much salt in your diet, it increases amount of water in your body. When your water is increased, it indirectly raises your blood pressure. Now we all know that our blood pressure have a direct link with the brain, because when there is high blood pressure or hypertension, it means it can affect the brain cells, as it can result to a condition of the brain known as CVA, which is cardiovascular accident, which in our common terms is known as stroke. Of course, this is a topic for another day. This is caused by high blood pressure. So when you avoid salt, you are doing a whole lot to your body, because you avoid having that increased blood pressure that can increase your risk of having stroke or CVA. Number 3 habit that should be avoided is sleep deprivation. Now, scientists have not fully discovered to what extent the brain needs sleep. But do we really need science to figure that out for us? Who doesn't know the after effects after a bad night's sleep, like reduced concentration and focus, sluggish attention span, reduced memory, and on top of that, a continuous lack of sleep actually results in reduced memory and affects our brain negatively. Because it is known that during periods of deep sleep, mechanisms are at work to rid our brain cells of toxins. So when you don't get enough sleep, or there is persistent lack of sleep, these mechanisms cannot be fully activated. So it results in accumulation of these toxins in our brain cells, leading to severe brain damage. Number 4 habits that should be avoided is obesity. Obesity is actually accumulation of fats in our body, making us to increase in size. When you are obese, there's a lot of fat in your body system, and this fat can actually block the supply to our brain. When this fat blocks the supply to our brain, the brain doesn't get enough oxygen and other nutrients it requires to function. So when the brain does not get enough of this, then it in turn results in death of the brain cells, and this is what is known as CVA, cardiovascular accident resulting from ischemia, which is lack of blood supplies and cell and nutrients to the brain cells. So this we should try as much as possible to avoid being obese by watching what we eat and avoiding too much food eating. Habit that should be avoided is smoking. We are aware that smoking causes cancer, but one thing we are not aware about is that smoking causes shrinkage of the brain due to the accumulation of nicotine, which is a content that is contained in the cigarette that is being smoked. This nicotinamide accumulates in the brain, causing shrinking of the brain cells, and this can increase your risk of having dementia and a condition also known as Alzheimer's, which is a disease that you get especially when you smoke and during old age. The number 6 habits that should be avoided is sleeping and covering your head. Do you know sleeping and covering your head increases carbon dioxide consumption and reduces oxygen consumption? Let me explain. When you sleep and cover your head with a blanket, you breathe out carbon dioxide and take in oxygen. In this case, you breathe out carbon dioxide. This carbon dioxide does not go out because you are covering yourself up. Instead, it goes back into your system and then it accumulates in your system. You also don't have opportunity to take in oxygen because the oxygen you are supposed to get is supposed to come from your environment, and now you are covering yourself up. So how do you get the oxygen that you need? So you are breathing out into that wrapper, and that thing you are breathing out, you are breathing it in again, and that is how the cycle continues. So you're taking a lot of this carbon dioxide that the body does not need, and then you accumulate it in your blood system, and then the oxygen which you are supposed to get, you don't get enough of it. So the brain lacks this oxygen that it needs to function, and this can result over time to death of the brain cells, which can in turn damage the brain severely. 7 habits that should be avoided is listening to loud sounds, loud music. We are engrossed with the fun that we want to get from our music and TVs by increasing its sounds of these music and TV shows because it's more fun when the volume is so loud. But in as much as we want to get more fun out of this habit, we should also think about the negative impact it's going to have in our brain cells. Of course, when you increase the volume of your TV sets, your earpiece, your headpiece, your music, and all what's not, this kind of increases the pressure in our brain, because the brain is actually the organ that tries to comprehend or understand what is being said around us. So when you increase your music, the volume of your music, it doesn't only affect your hearing, it also affects your brain, because the brain also indirectly functions to interpret what is being said for us to hear properly. So when you do that, you tend to increase the pressure of the brain cells. So this pressure kind of stresses the brain out, and when the brain is being stressed out, it results in damage to the brain cells, and of course it tends to get the brain a lot damaged. So we should try to avoid increasing the volume of our music and TV sets. Habits that should be avoided is trying to be lonely always and avoiding social interaction. Humans are wired for social contact. It is not about how many Facebook friends you have. What matters is a real sense of social connection. And people who have this with even just a few close friends are happier and more productive, and also less likely to suffer from brain decline and Alzheimer's disease. So if you feel lonely, feel free to call up a few of your friends and engage in activities like sporting activities and dancing that involves other people. The number 9 habit that should be avoided is prolonged sitting. Now, prolonged sitting without regular exercise can put you at risk of dementia and also other diseases like heart diseases, diabetes, and high blood pressure. All these may be named to Alzheimer's diseases. We're not saying you should engage in marathon race here. What we're saying is that just a brisk walk around the neighborhood or half an hour in the garden would do the magic. Just engage in consistent, regular, passive or active exercise on a daily basis. Guys, this last and the number 10 habits we all engages in will blow your mind, because this is one habit that a lot of us are culprits of, and this is keeping our phone next to us when we are about going to bed or when we want to go to bed. This habit is very damaging to our brain cells. And how is it damaging? Let me tell you. When you take your phone to bed, it is meant to keep your brain alert and awake, because your phone is expected to, in fact, the phone is designed to keep you informed and entertain you. So the last thing that your brain needs is to be informed and entertained when you want to go to bed, because scrolling down your phone all the time when you want to go to bed will keep your brain awake, and then you cannot easily fall asleep. Apart from that, you want your brain and your mood will be pressured to want to check or respond to all the messages and all the calls and all the emails that is being sent to you. When you have that feeling or that pressure, then you cannot fall asleep perfectly. Apart from that, the light that comes from the phone is meant to mimic its daytime light, so that when you use it during the day, you will be very alert and awake. So at night, this light, when you put on this phone and this light comes out at night, this light actually inhibits an hormone that is produced at night to induce sleep. So when that hormone is inhibited, the hormone is melatonin. When this hormone is inhibited, you cannot get enough sleep because it cannot induce sleep. So that is why you don't have to get your phone close to you when you want to go to bed or if you want to get a good sleep. Apart from that, the alert that comes from the phone also inhibits us from getting enough or getting sound sleep. We are always being distracted by these alerts and messages that comes out from our phone. So it is good that you place your phone away from you at least 30 minutes to 1 hour before you go to bed, so you don't get distracted, you don't keep your brain busy and being stressed up and being awake and alert when you are supposed to be sleeping, because when you do that, you don't get enough sleep, and when you don't get enough sleep, of course it affects your brain and functioning and cognition in the next morning. Thank you. This brings me to the end of today's video. So if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, share this video, and leave a comment in the description, in the comment section down below. And guys, if you have not subscribed, please, what are you waiting for? Do me well to subscribe to this channel, and don't forget to click on the notification bell so that you get information and get a notice each time I post a new video. So guys, thank you guys for watching this video. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.